Welcome to the Mediacasters with your business besties, Karina Belizzi and Julie Loken. In every episode, you'll get behind-the-scenes access to experts who share their struggles and successes in podcasting, publishing, and presenting. So grab a pen, grab your bestie, and kick it with Karina and Jules.
We're getting right to the juicy parts right now with the prolific, the amazing, the really just genuine person, Devin Johnson. He's the CEO of Kennected, and his story, if you think you have excuses, there are no excuses, because he has built a multi-million-dollar empire on the string of a sneaker. And I'm not going to exactly share his story right now, but you have to listen to this. He has the absolute vision for his life, and he has made it happen. I'm just going to get straight to this with Devin Johnson. Devin, let's go straight to the juicy parts. Let's get after it. People with little attention spans, all those entrepreneurs, creatives. First of all, we'll talk about Kennected, but you started literally selling sneakers, gym shoes, whatever you call them, whatever the word du jour is. What do you call them?
Okay. No, let's just called them gym shoes. Okay,
shoes? Let me just. Is that the worst?
No, sneakers. They're
I'm
just
so
sneakers.
Old.
Yeah, you just insulted the entire sneaker community.
Oh my God, I do that all the time. Gym shoes.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Okay.
You think a pair of Air Mags is a pair of gym shoes? That's a piece of art.
What are Air Mags? I know Air Jordans.
Air Mag. Okay. Hold on. They're right here.
Look at this. Wait. Oh my gosh. I didn't even see. He's got racks and racks of not gym shoes, but
here you go.
Sneakers.
This is an Air Mag.
Oh my gosh. This looks like you could just run 5,000 miles an hour.
It was they're famous from Back to the Future. So when he got out of the DeLorean, he put a shoe on.
That was a shoe?
Yes. So this is like a $100,000 Nike.
And why do you have that behind you right now? Why do you have that?
It's my collection.
Air Mags. Holy cow. How many of those shoes did they make?
There's 1,500 pairs.
Wow.
Yep. So there's only 1,500 pairs. There's only 260 pairs that are size 11. This is a size 11, and they light up just like the other two.
That's freaking amazing.
Yeah. So
Michael J. Fox. Who knew?
Yeah.
You need to get those signed. Would they be worth more if you got it signed by?
They are worth substantially more if they're signed by Michael J. Fox.
Wow. That's fantastic. But seriously, you were not selling Air Mags, though, on the corner.
No.
What is this all about? And why why are you who you are? That's what I want to know.
Yeah. So, at a young age, I was faced with a lot of adversity. I lived in a divided household. My sister was diagnosed with a rare form of brain cancer. And my dad, he was already not living with us, but, stepped out entirely for over a year and admitted that he was struggling with a heroin addiction. And ultimately, he was just running from his problems. And so I turned to try to just help my mom, help my sister. My mom had to move into the hospital. I ended up staying there almost 3 years with her as she recovered and actually beat the cancer. So she did beat the cancer. She's still with us today.
What's her name? I wanted to.
Her name's Jaylen. Yeah.
Jaylen, what a blessing! Yeah. That's amazing.
So Jaylen did beat her cancer, but at that moment, my mom didn't know what she was going to do. Her job immediately let her go. It was just everything was just falling apart. Mm-hmm. And so I started selling shoes out of trying to help, the fam.
What do you do? You went to the Dick's Sporting Goods and bought shoes and resold them, or how did you do that?
I wish it was that easy. No, so there's the shoes that you could walk in and buy at Dick's and then Finish Line and all that. That would be called a general release. So the general public can get them. But shoes like the Air Mag, for instance, there's limited runs, 1,500 pairs, 100,000 pairs, 200,000 pairs. So it's like a rare shoe. So you have to get your hands on those. And the only reason I actually knew about the sneakers and knew that there's resale was my dad was addicted to shoes as well.
Mhm.
So he loved shoes. He always had like hundreds of pairs of them. And so I got into figuring out how you got them, how you met the managers that could get you into the releases. And at the time, the system was like a ticket drawing system, like raffle tickets. And so you'd put in for the raffle, you would hit, you'd show up, and you would get the shoes. And so I sold the shoes that my dad had bought me. So I sold a few pairs that were worth some money. And then my first actual flip was the LeBron All Star, which I actually have sitting behind me as well. So it was my first resale was the LeBron All Star sneaker release. And then from there, I started a trade show, and then I learned digital marketing.
Trade show with
And
on shoes, or
yeah.
holy
So,
cow.
I ran something called Indie All Star Sneaker Expo. Like you can still Google it and see the videos from it and see, the framework of the existence of it. But yeah, it was you would bring your collection, come there, buy rare shoes and trade shoes, and it was like a big meetup. Just like if the most basic person would understand like a yard sale, for instance, but like anything you're into, like a wedding show where you go see like different dresses and stuff, same thing but only really rare sneakers.
Mhm.
So
Uh, I mean, when I meet you in person, is the first thing you look at my shoes? You're like, oh, maybe not. She's got to
it
go.
is a bad habit. However, I've learned to not judge by the shoes.
Okay.
So
This is good
yeah,
to know.
you won't get judged. I will look
Got these
at your shoes
puppies
though.
on. I got these puppies.
I've Okay,
They're
yeah. I felt
moccasins.
like I
You're like,
felt like
what
you
is she
were
doing?
I feel like you were gonna be rocking some golden gooses, but I don't
Mm,
know.
they're like mouse. I don't know, but I digress. But it's interesting. Your dad cut out when times got tough, when your sister got ill, and you had the opportunity to anesthetize yourself because addiction is usually a generational trait that we inherit from those that have come before us. But you decided to do something differently, and
Mhm.
you decided to do something greater. Where did that come from within you? Was it just who
Yeah,
you all you
well,
knew?
so looking back, I have a better answer to that question rather than being in the situation. But it ultimately was the fear of being alone and being able to not control my outcome, my destiny. And ultimately one of my biggest drivers is, I want to be able to always control my environment and who I am, where I go, what I'm known for at any and all given times, and never be put in a situation which
Hmm.
is driven financially a lot of times on the people and environment you're stuck in. If you're controlling your own financial destiny by creating impact in this world, you can have a lot of influence, be able to ultimately control a lot of that. So, that's where my biggest motivation comes from is being stuck in a situation of feeling stuck, like
Mhm.
rock bottom stuck, and just knowing I'll never be there again.
And I understand, controlling your financial destiny. And if you had that inkling when you were a teenager, that is so fantastic. But what can we really control?
Yeah, yeah. Ultimately, you just start to create options as you start to create momentum, right?
Hmm.
I have way more options than I had 2 years ago or even a year ago in the current situation that I'm in,
Hmm.
but I'm consistent on getting to a end destination of creating impact with my message, with my products, with everything, right? And I see a lot of entrepreneurs take a deep dive and fall and fail
Hmm.
because they cannot stay focused
Hmm.
on one project initiative,
Hmm.
and they have no idea who they actually are, their own identity. They're just
Hmm.
chasing money, and that's not the way to drive success and drive impact.
Yeah, a lot of the entrepreneurs that I come in contact with or clients, when their goal is the bottom line and they miss everything else in between, I know, and this is so bad, and I tell them in a nice way, but it is a recipe for disaster
Mhm.
some way or the other.
Yeah, it is. Absolutely is. If you're chasing the almighty dollar, you will burn yourself out, or just ultimately everything else will start to fall away, fall apart. I say all the time, like, get your mind right, get your money right, but that really means you put you first, your family second, your business third. You have to take care of you, your family has to be your foundation. Three, you have to execute in your business.
And I think it's always from what you've said, everything you've done is so purpose driven, from really understanding that you wanted to take care of your mom and your sister and never be in that place where you felt like your head was underwater, to right now. And the span is not this is maybe a decade long
Mhm.
journey for you, which is
Yeah,
so incredible.
not even. You got
This
to think.
this is incredible. Like
Yeah,
this is
we're under a decade. Yeah.
wow. From selling
So,
sneakers to tell me about that spark that you had in terms of building this company and how you're doing it differently, because so many entrepreneurs, creatives are wanting to be exactly where you are right now, Devin.
yeah, so transitioning from shoes, the market got disrupted in many ways, but the main one being an app called StockX basically killed the resale margins on shoes.
I
So I
just
made
bought
a
my
tra
kid some shoes from StockX, by the way, for the
yeah,
first time. I
okay.
had no
So
idea. And you can't return them, by
yeah.
the way. I found out as well.
Yeah, so there you go. That app changed the game and put transparency, tells you what to pay, what not to pay, lets you buy
Oh,
them on the spot. Before that, that was just resellers, right? It was just guys like me that could get them, and then you'd pay the whatever the market, whatever he wanted if he wanted that sneaker.
mhm.
So, I transitioned into digital marketing, and I would sell you just about anything that I feel like I could, deliver, and consistently. And at the end of the day, let's say I built you a website, you would ask me, well, how do I get leads to the website, or how do I get this conversation?
Mhm.
And I just got tired of two things. I got tired of getting asked that question and not giving them a confident answer,
Mhm.
and then number two, me personally not having consistent leads and the right people to talk to. And so I was using a platform that everybody should be on called LinkedIn. Over eight.
Oh, I just heard of
Yeah,
that platform.
yeah, yeah,
LinkedIn. Okay. Mhm.
yeah. So just over 800 million active users, all business professionals, business oriented. Again, it's the place to where business professionals have business conversations and make business decisions, right? And so I was like, man, what if I could simplify using LinkedIn? Because it's not an easy platform to use.
Mhm.
It's very confusing. It's very time consuming,
Intimidating too.
very intimidating,
Mhm.
right? It's a lot of opportunity with very little path of execution. And so Kennected was born. 2018, the idea. 2019, we were a real company.
3 years.
And yeah, so fast forward, we're 100 and just over 150 now in staff, all
Wow.
in. And
That's
you know,
amazing. That's exponential growth. Like if I
yeah, to be exact, it's just over 11% a month for 3 years.
holy
So
cow.
yeah, it's
Can
been
you
a it's been
sustain
a
that? I mean, I know you can sustain it. I bet you can beat those numbers too, but
Yeah, you can. When you start to get into the revenue numbers that we're dealing with, it gets a lot harder.
Mhm.
Market conditions change, but then you start to bring on capital partners and start to do acquisitions, which is what we've been doing
Mhm.
to be able to maintain that growth, right? And you have to be really picky and know what you ultimately are wanting, which we know what we want. We want to create a category known as execution as a service, or ease. We want to continue to make it easy for business professionals to grow and for businesses to grow and scale. And so we put together a roadmap for product and a roadmap for acquisition, and we've been executing that one deal, one conversation at a time. And so I've got an incredible leadership team that's really stepped up to the plate over the years at Kennected and allowed me as CEO to really focus on the numbers and focus on the upmarket opportunity.
And we can't do it alone. Everything that you've said, and just having these conversations with you, that you can't do this stuff alone. You need, and just have execute a business plan. There is no way the average person could do this on their own.
No, and I chalk up a lot of my success to my team, being able to get behind my vision, behind my business partners, Cody, Brandon, Steven, Elliot, all those guys, really, were on the ground floor with me and questioned things, but ultimately stuck behind my vision and helped us get to where we're at today. Kennected's valued over $120 million. So like it's a real business with real revenue and making a lot of headway. So it started as a napkin, literally a napkin idea. And so you have to surround yourself with people that pick up your weaknesses. You as an entrepreneur, I don't care who you are, you're not good at everything. Someone that's good at sales and vision and execution could, like me, struggle with finance and the documentation of everything and the operational thought process, right? You have to be able to delegate and trust your team. Have you ever met a CEO that like loses team members like all the time? Like every 6 months it's new employees. It's because they can't delegate and trust, or they micromanage, or they're just overbearing with they're a know-it-all most of the time. Now there's other reasons, but most of the time it's the individual staying in the way between greatness and being average and mediocre and kind of just bumping along.
And then building out your team, just you and Cody and Brandon, and building it to 150 plus, I think there comes a point, and this is my way of infusing leadership into everything I do. I believe if you're an adult, you can do the job. I don't want to sit there babysitting you. I won't worry until there's something to worry about, and giving them the autonomy as well to express themselves and do what they're supposed to, but do it with flair. The proof's in the pudding. You can see the ROI from every single employee that you have. But I mean, do you ever get scared with this huge exponential growth? Does anything scare you? Nothing?
No, no.
Dang it.
Nothing? I think fears.
Having another baby?
No, doesn't bother me.
Okay.
No. Fear in my world means face everything and rise. There's two meanings: face everything and rise, or fuck everything and run. And so I choose to be on the side of face everything and rise. So of course there's challenges. I'm far from perfect. There's many speed bumps, but it's nothing that I can't handle, right? So, I know where I came from and I know where I'm going. I know there's going to be speed bumps along the way. So I embrace them all.
You fear nothing. Tell me the truth. Nothing.
Nothing.
Jumping out of a plane. You've jumped out of a plane?
No. Jumping out of a plane. I've not, but I would. Actually, part of my weight loss journey was because I tried to go skydiving and I was too fat.
Oh, sweet. Tell me about that. That's great. This is a good conversation.
I wanted to go skydiving, so I was like,
I didn't know you could be too fat to skydive.
Yeah, so I was like, screw it, let's go skydiving. So Indiana actually has a place to skydive, so called them, like, yep, booked it. I got there, like, all right, step on the scale, and I was too fat. You can't be over 250 pounds. And so I was over 250 pounds at the time. They're like, yep, you can't skydive. So I weigh 239 now.
Sweet.
So I can go skydiving.
Hi.
Yeah.
Are you okay? That's amazing. So you've lost like some stones there.
Yeah. Let me do.
Does that scare you? Like losing weight and like not getting the food? There must be something that makes you uncomfortable, and maybe not.
No.
Maybe you're perfect. I don't know.
I'm not perfect, but like any challenge, I'm willing to embrace.
Okay.
That's the difference, right? So weight loss, I've lost over 90 pounds.
Holy crap! You've lost a lot of weight.
Yeah.
That is so fantastic.
I actually just did blood work 2 days ago to tweak my diet to continue losing weight.
Wow.
Yeah. And
No more
so,
nacho baths?
yeah, I did
I'll
not eat
explain
that
later, media
cheese.
casters, just a minute.
Yeah, so that ad that she's referring to, guys, I ate none of the cheese inside the tub, and I came out of that tub clean. It was a sheet was over me, and then they dumped the
Oh,
cheese. So when I stood up, I it just dropped.
What would you be doing if all your leads were on complete autopilot? Well, I'd be sitting right here in this tub of nacho cheese with my beautiful wife feeding me chip after chip.
the mystery is revealed. So, Devin, this is genius. This is creative. This is why I love the thought process and everything that is connected with Devin Johnson. He was sitting in a bathtub of nacho cheese while his wife was feeding him with a chip. She was dressed in a toga, a beautiful Greek toga. And he was eating. It was like so irreverent and hilarious, but it got attention. And that's another thing you have to do as an entrepreneur. Do you consider yourself an entrepreneur still, or do you consider yourself a CEO?
I believe if you're a true CEO, there's always entrepreneurial spirit. I do identify as a CEO, and I'll explain the difference as well between entrepreneur and CEO in
Mhm.
my eyes. Is a CEO makes database decisions to continue growth and evolve and stay focused on the main project. And an entrepreneur, I think, spins many plates and may have some success and splashes in the pan. At some point, I think you have to boss up and go all in on one thing. I think that's where you transition to a CEO and learn the value of data and running the business by the real numbers.
Mhm. Hmm. And just thinking back, I think that's probably the key to your success is your relationship with fear, and that you've
Mm.
always been willing to take calculated risks, understand like,
I wouldn't say always calculated.
oh, or risks, maybe not calculated, but it's so many people are so stuck in terms of growth. They're afraid to do this, that. I see this with so many entrepreneurs. It's crazy. And I'm just connecting the dots and why probably you, not only your grit, determination, hard work, but also you're just like, let's do it and
Mhm.
let's see what happens. Not like throwing spaghetti at the wall, but
Yeah, and also, guys, sometimes spaghetti's on the wall, but can you pick it up and make a beautiful dish? That's the
mm,
thing,
I love that.
right? So, we all got to start somewhere, guys. No one's perfect. There's been many times that the thought process was fuck it, let's try it. I
Mhm.
mean, and excuse my French, but like that's literally the mantra that I've had with so many decisions that's led to good and bad, but ultimately
Mhm.
has got me to where we're at today.
That's what makes life so delicious. If we're going to talk about throwing spaghetti at the wall, this is what makes life so delicious. And being in stagnancy, being in your comfort zone. I bet for you, Devin, I'm just putting words into your mouth. Being in your comfort zone is a scary place. Like
Oh yeah, oh
wearing the khaki pants with the elastic band and just like
yeah,
everything's great. But I bet you
yeah.
that is where you're scared of, just stagnancy and complacency. Because
I run from it. If I start to feel stagnant, one of the things that will really get people stagnant is high income, making having a lot of
oh
money
yeah.
sitting around.
Hmm.
If I start to feel any sort of complacency, I'll start to spend it wise. Put it into investments or assets that are carry cash flow and or will grow. But I constantly investing into myself as well with masterminds and high ticket, rooms to be in. But complacency is the first sign of dying
Hmm. Wow.
and settling.
Wow. You are probably speaking to the masses right now.
Yeah,
Seriously. And,
I'm
and I
I'm
don't know
trying
how it is
to
that it
trying
falls.
to yeah, I'm trying to because guys, if you're listening and you're like, oh, that's kind of me, like, get a couple hundred grand in the bank, feeling good. You start to I don't care what you say. Like so many think about UFC fighters or boxers, like that the one that comes in and wins his first title fight, most of the time you never hear from them again because they got the check. and they got the one win that they were looking for. A lot of you are probably winning and going to find yourself harder to repeat that success because you're not challenging yourself. You're not, making the big purchase on the commercial building. You're not buying the real estate. You're not trying new businesses and putting managers over them to let you, start to grow your legacy. And you ultimately you may end up wealthy, right? You still might end up with a good chunk of change, but you'll start to feel stagnant and lose purpose. A lot of entrepreneurs sort of lose purpose, and that's ultimately because you're not challenging yourself.
And what is having a big pile of cash at your last breath? What does that do for you anyway, right? Except donating it all to charity, making your grandkids happy that they came into a win.
Yeah.
But what does it do? So I love that you are a purpose-driven entrepreneur / CEO, and your journey is incredible. I can't wait to read your book, Devin.
Yeah, we're gonna finish that, right?
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, we are. And I mean, like, it's a fantastic story, everything you're doing. And I love being around people like you because I don't know if I jump out of an airplane. That's like the one thing that I don't know if I would do. But anything else, I'm always like game.
You know what we're gonna do this summer? We're gonna jump out of an airplane.
Oh God.
We're gonna do it. I'm putting you.
I gotta stop talking. That's what I gotta do. I gotta stop talking. That's like the one thing that I'm always like, I'll do anything, but I'm not sure if I'd jump out of an airplane. Your story is so powerful. I love just kind of something is, I think, ingrained in our brain and synapses when you're just like, you'll do it, because so many people are held back, and you're not only connecting everybody in the world to their potential with Kennected, but you're connecting yourself to your purpose. And that's inspiring. Guys, I want you to learn more about Devin Johnson. All his info is going to be in the show notes. Reach out, check out the app Kennected, and even the new social audio app Breakout. And until we meet again, I hope that you come on. Your story, if you can do it, anybody can, Devin, because there's no excuses.
Yeah, that's right. Thank you, Jules.
Thank you. Oh, and let's kick it. Can you say kick it?
Yeah,
I made Cody do that too.
Yeah, let's kick it.
Kick it. Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Thanks for listening to another episode of The Mediacasters. You can keep this conversation going and kick it with Karina and Jules in live office hours each week. Visit themediacasters.mn.co to sign up. And don't forget to rate, review, and subscribe whenever you listen. Let's kick it.